Obviously disappointing for us. Felt like we gave ourselves a chance, especially in the third quarter, in the first half as well. I thought the defense did a pretty nice job of slowing them down some. Then third quarter, I thought the offense came out, so we talked about it at halftime to get back in the game, and we were able to do that. And then magically, we blew two coverages, just let the guys go, and gave them some easy scores. And that's tough. I thought offensively, we hit some big plays in the passing game, but we weren't very good on third down. We were in a lot of third and longs, and then it was tough to block them. They got to the quarterback some, but I thought Emory did a nice job. I thought the offense, the second half, got some big plays in the passing game, but you can't play from behind on the road like this against a good team, and they got a good football team, And they did a nice job. We'll learn from this. So I told the team, we have a chance to learn from this game as a team, and there's a lot of football left. So hopefully we can continue to learn from this situation and grow as a team together. Question.
This was your first big game, Glenn, as your OC. So what did you take from that and play calling? I know you like running the ball, defense, run game, travel, but there's mostly runs in the second quarter in particular when you didn't score.
Yeah, and that sets up the play action. And we hit a couple play action passes. Just because they stop you running, you can't stop running and abandon the run, especially on the road. When we had to go back and pass, they brought pressure, and they got to the quarterback a couple times. So, that's what you don't want to get into, because then a lot of bad things happen when you can't protect the quarterback, and you got to just drop back and throw it. And I thought the second half, Glenn, dialed up a couple plays that got us going, And I just think this offense is just coming together. It's work in the making. I mean, that's what it is. You talked about Badger and the receiver and the quarterback and everything else, but I just thought the defense got fatigued about midway through the fourth quarter, because of their volume of running in and out, and just mentally we got exhausted a couple times, and just mentally just blew a couple coverages. And other than that, I thought it was a competitive football game. Kids played hard. Hopefully we learn from this as a football team. That's what you're hoping.
I know, Herm, coming into the season, you really wanted to cut down on the number of penalties, and some of them are just really competitive penalties, just the flow of the game.
They were competitive penalties. There was a couple holding, right? I mean, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, we didn't have no false starts, none of that stuff. The crowd noise didn't get to us. I thought offense did a nice job with the crowd, actually. We didn't flinch. We didn't do any of that. It was just there was some competitive penalties. They had 7, we had 10. It's just they played a lot of man. We played a lot of man. We got a couple pass interference calls. They got a couple pass interference calls. It's just, that's football. You don't like that many fouls. You don't. But a couple of them hurt us. A couple of them on the quarterback on third down. We touch him and he's running out of bounds, and you give him a first down. I mean, we shanked the punt as good as Eddie is, and we gave him 3 points, right? I mean, it's just a lot of little things came up in this game, and when you play a team like this on the road, they're a pretty good football team, right? I mean, they're a good football team. There's no doubt, and they played good defense too, and their offense is good. The quarterback did a nice job. I think he had 60-some yards in the first half, just running, right? And so you got to deal with the quarterback. You got to deal with all this other stuff, right? And I just thought that we hung in there, and the key for us was the third quarter, to get the ball and go down, and all of a sudden now we're kind of in the game, and then a couple things happen, and all of a sudden we're out of the game again. Got to give them credit. They got a good football team.
How big of a momentum swing did you see after the fumble and then that personal foul to extend that drive?
Yeah, I mean, that's in good teams, they capitalize on that, right? When you give them an extra down when you should be off the field. And hopefully we're going to learn from that. I mean, that's all you can take away from this. The errors you make, you got to learn from them. And talent-wise, I thought skill-wise, we matched up okay against them. I think at times they got to us rushing, right? I mean, they did that. I mean, they got to us a couple times. We got to their quarterback a couple times, but he got out of there. He can go out of there. He's a nifty player, and he's big. He's strong. He's a strong runner. So you got to give them credit.
How much, if any, consideration was given toward going for it on the 4th and 6, down by 7?
Oh, 4th and 6? No, there was a 4th and 2. that we were going to go for.
The missed
And
field goal.
yeah, no, the game was one score now. But the 4th and 2, we were actually going to go for it, but then the timeout was called, and when that happens, that's no dice for me because now you don't have any momentum. They saw the formation. It's like, okay, we'll punt it. It worked out. 3 plays and we got the ball back. So I just think, it was a calculated deal that I was going to go because we had some momentum going. But then when the timeout was called, that was it for that because it just doesn't make a whole lot of sense giving them the ball if you don't make it. We got it within a football game at that point.
And then not at all on the missed field goal.
No, I mean, what are you going to do? Go for it? I mean, we figured we try to kick a field goal. I mean, we're still in the game at that point. And so, that's what you got to do. I mean, the kid kicked 4 field goals last week and was pretty good. And it was the weather, I get all that, but, you got to do what you feel. There's a point to where you keep putting your defense out there without scoring points. That becomes hard, right? I mean, the defense did a pretty good job first half of just holding them, right? This is an explosive offense, very explosive. And they hit a couple plays on us, which I said going into this game, I said, these guys are going to move the ball. You're not going to stop them. The shame of it is a couple big plays were ones that we just mentally just didn't quite do what we're supposed to do. So hopefully we'll learn from it.
Third downs,
Offense.
Yeah.
That's not good. We can't be that. And a lot of it had to do with 1st and 2nd down, right? Getting behind the chains. And then on the road, pretty good defense. They're rushing you. It's just hard to convert those. We got to do a better job, but there's no doubt about that on 3rd down. Yeah. And we will. We'll do a better job. We'll learn from this game, and we'll grow from it, hopefully, as a football team. A lot of football left for this football team. A lot of football left. A lot of games left. So you learn a little something about your football team when you have to go through something like this. Those guys are hurting inside that locker room. They're hurting. It had nothing to do with being competitive because they were competitive. They played as hard as they could play, but eventually it just wore down. That's the nature of the game. You just can't keep asking your defense to go out there over and over and over. We've got to play complementary football. They got a good defense too. They did a nice job. They did some things that they gave us some problems, and we got to learn from that and grow from it. Okay, thank you, folks. Yes, sir.
Constantly had, 16, 17 tackles.
Yeah.
He had high expectations. Is this kind of the performance that you expected for him?
Well, he's been here. He's one of the leaders, one of the captains. He did a nice job. He did. And he's been in a lot of football games, that guy, right? Between him and Merlin, it seems like every time I turn around, they're still here, And they played their tails off. They did. They played hard, and you got to grow from this. You do. You got to grow from this as a football team. And you hate to say that when you lose, but there's something that we got to find now. And those players are hurting in that locker room. They came here to win a football game. That was their intentions. And, it didn't turn out that way, but that was the intentions all week. It never wavered from any player. And when you play a team like this, you can't make those little mistakes. They get you, man. They just get you. And hopefully we grow from it and we learn from it and we'll become a better football team. There's a lot of growing up this team took today, I thought, coming here with all the stuff they had to deal with, right? No one gave them a lot of chance to even be in the game. And I'm not saying it's a moral victory because it's not. Because we wanted to win this football game. And they thought they could win it too. And I take my hat off to them because they played their tails off, man. They played hard. And that's a good football team. They got a good football team. So hopefully we can grow from it. Thank you.